Sophia village, a shabby outpost on the edge of Uganda and Kenya's border, springs to life at the crack of dawn as the sun glows to light its paths. It's a busy day here as locals prepare to make the trip across this porous entry point. A haven for smugglers across the divide, Sophia, the size of a football stadium, lies partly in Uganda and Kenya. It offers hope for the underprivileged who sustain this illicit trade. Adjacent to Sophia is the Busia border post where legally processed goods are transported. Trucks carrying goods offload products that are ready to be smuggled here. Amongst the underprivileged are the physically handicapped who ache living here. They transport an assortment of goods on behalf of their masters. Inside Kenya, which is barely 100 meters from Sophia, is an area where smuggled goods coming into Uganda are assembled. From sugar to cement, these men and women rely on wheelchairs which snake through the narrow streets to deliver their products.
Most of the PWs, these, don't have money to buy the goods. But those ones, the owners of the shops, they're the ones who comes there, they buy, and you negotiate with the owner that, can you please transport for me as a boda to my shop? I will have to pay you 2,000 shillings or 1,000 shillings.
Many of these goods are substandard and expired. They pose a health risk to those who consume them. In the notoriously fickle market, goods can either be smuggled to Kenya or the same product smuggled to Uganda. For instance, a few months ago, Uganda's sugar was smuggled to Kenya. Now the demand of smuggled Kenyan sugar to Uganda is higher after prices fell. This man with a disability, whose identity we cannot disclose because he asked for anonymity, revealed to us why this is his only way to survive and fend for his family.
These PWDs, most of them are married. They have got children whom they are supposed to pay for school fees. But now children are not going to school because of the poverty which is on the border. So I think if the government could be well and at least identify most of the PWD's children and take them to school.
He says that he's ready to abandon smuggling if government offers him a better opportunity.
If the government could come up and at least give us other business, this business of smuggling, we cannot do it. If I could get a soft loan to earn my living, I just stop immediately. Or if there is assistance in school fees loan, like paying children's school fees on school upkeep, I'm able to do it, to abandon what? Smuggling.
Sarah Arinetwe Mwesije is the acting commissioner for customs at URA. She says smugglers rely on unconventional methods. She reveals a number of methods to curb smuggling at the border.
We right now have URA staff who are deployed at the port of Mombasa, and they work with KRA to get this pre-arrive information, which is input in the Security Award system, and we are able to tell what declarations have been made in advance. And two, we are using electronic cargo tracking system, and we seal the cargo, which is sensitive in terms of revenue involved and the nature of goods. So we are able to monitor cargo from the port of Mombasa up to destination, either in the bonded warehouses or at the border, that is Malaba and Busia. The other way we are managing to curb down smuggling, we have massively recruited informers, especially at the porous borders and inland stations, who help us to give us alerts.
With the prevalent illicit logging across the country, charcoal is amongst the most sought-after products from Uganda to Kenya. In February, Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto suspended logging in forests for a period of 3 months, citing acute water shortage caused by destruction of the forest cover. Truckloads that have already gained entry through illegal routes are ready to ferry their products to their destinations inside Kenya. Some of this charcoal is transported here from far-flung places in northern and western Uganda. In Busia, charcoal prices have more than doubled from 35,000 Uganda shillings to 80,000 Uganda shillings per sack in just 1 week. Godfrey Owundo, the National Cross-Border Trade Chairperson, says the trade in charcoal threatens to wipe out the country's forests.
We are trying to discuss with the enforcement agency of the Uganda Revenue Authority to ensure that the National Forest Authority does not encourage issues of licenses to traders, because we are also looking at why don't we need to safeguard our natural resources. Our counterparts in the EAC region have issues of ordinances and laws, very stringent. They have put in place to ensure they safeguard their natural resources. And this is why we think that our country needs to emulate this.
He also reveals that restrictions have been lifted to allow informal trade to thrive as a way of curbing smuggling.
But these ones in informal trade, and the incentives were put for them under the mechanism called the simplified trade regime. They go to the point of receipt of the good, they are invoiced, they come with the invoice. At the border we have put a desk called the trade information desk.
They come through the
yes, they come to the trade information desk, yeah. And these trade information desks have been given facilities and by the relevant authority, Commerce, Ministry of Trade and URA.
Both Uganda and Kenya police officers guard the entry points into their respective countries at Sofia. However, they are complicit in this illicit trade.
Saidia nini? Jana na ningekwambia leo sitakusaidia. Sina wakati jana. Kujinja roho. Kosi ngaboda kututu. Na kesho utakuja na karibia customer.
For those who offer bribe, are allowed to proceed with their goods without any form of inspection. Police spokesperson Emilian Kaima says a police officer involved in bribery dents the image of the force and will be punished.
If an individual police officer or civil servant engages in crimes of that nature or abets a crime, then we hold them to account, we bring them to book. It would be very unfortunate if such a thing ever happens, because our duty is to protect the country and protect the image by doing what is right.
It is here that dangerous items, including guns or bomb-making materials, can be carted under the guise of consumable goods. Kaima reveals that crime soared especially after Mombasa began clearing Ugandan goods under the single customs territory.
Since goods began to be cleared at Mombasa port, the routes change now. Now there were many people at Malaba and Tororo that were having some form of employment, lawful employment, in one or the other. Money changers, border riders, restaurant, those who are having restaurants, etc. Somehow they were earning lawfully. When this changed, it meant that they're out of employment. There is no money flowing. So some of them have chosen to engage into unlawful means of survival. And smuggling is one of them.
He says they often carry out joint operations with Kenyan police to deal with cross-border crime.
The policing, the patrols on our side by our police and on the other side by the Kenyan police have done us proud. We have been able to deter lots of crimes, have been able to arrest some of the suspected criminals. As we talk, in these motor vehicle thefts, 4 motor vehicles are with us in Tororo, and probably their owners don't know. So I'll give them out to you. And we have 5 people in prison, in government prison on remand.
But is this enough to stamp out crime at the border?
At the Uganda-Kenya border entry, the spirit of the East African integration comes to life as people walk across the 2 borders, going either to Kenya or to Uganda. However, this could be the Achilles heel of this region grappling with security concerns, because criminal cartels exploit porous border entry points to execute crime.
On October 27, 2017, an Eritrean businessman, Daniel Weldo, was kidnapped by criminals. Highly placed security sources revealed that he was driven through this security point at Sofia in the boot of his Land Cruiser vehicle. His captors entered the Kenyan side. He was later shot in the head and stomach as he succumbed to gunshot wounds. His body was burnt with petrol and buried in a shallow grave until he was discovered by Kenyan police at a farm in Busia district in the neighboring country. Sofia also serves as a human and drug trafficking route. Here in Busia town, there are many trouble spots. This home has been engulfed with fear after this woman was kidnapped on 16th April 2018.
I called almost like 10 times. Then at the last, it was a man who received and told me, say what you want or else you put off your phone. Then I also had to say what I had. I told him, hope me, I want to talk to the person, the owner of this phone. Then he was like, if you want to talk to the owner of this phone, send me 10,000. Then I told him 10,000 of Uganda only, and told me that Ugandan Kenyan currency. Then I said, I can send. Now, will I send through this number or using which number? Then he told me that, let me send you the number that you can use. Then he read to me a Safaricom number. Then after reading the number, I told him, but before me sending this number, why can't you help me and talk to that friend of mine? Then he told me, if you want, you send. If you don't want, you leave. Then he put off the phone.
A few days later, she was found dead with her body decapitated even after ransom was paid. Malaba border point is about 40 kilometers from Busia. It is the second busiest entry point on the Ugandan-Kenyan border. However, smuggling is much more restricted here because of natural barriers like River Malaba. But like Busia, insecurity remains a challenge. Police claims that the bomb jackets used to sow mayhem in July 2010 at Chadondo Rugby Club and the Ethiopian restaurant in Kabalagala were ferried through the Malaba border entry. As we approach Busia on our way back from Malaba, darkness envelops the border town in the evening. Lights from these motorcyclists illuminate the dark alleys as smugglers call it a day to prepare for dawn. Emmanuel Mtaiziwa, NTV.